Oh, good evening, everyone. This is Tom here, your host tonight for Cab Crew Wednesday. Glad to see everybody in so far. Dwight from Curly Express, John from Grandpa Rails, John Benicki is here. How you guys all doing? Hope you had a great Merry Christmas. And we'll let some more people come in, and then we'll start getting going. Guys can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. Make sure my audio is working. Thanks, John. Thanks, JD. Thanks, Dwight. Oh, it's 8 o'clock, so whoever's coming is coming. Hey, New Haven Rails, how you doing? I see you can make it in tonight. So how was everybody's Christmas? I hope everybody had a good one. I spent it with my family, my grandsons and granddaughter. I went to my son's house, that's my granddaughter, and my daughter came in with my two grandsons. So, wow. Yeah, it must have been something going on Christmas Day because a lot of things weren't working. I have this ring device called a ring bridge, and it connects to the Wi-Fi system. And what it does is it allows the mail sensor I have in my mailbox, when the mailbox is open, then I get an alert saying your mailbox is open. And that ring bridge is inside the house. And the Wi-Fi device that everything connects to in that area is only like 10 or 15 feet away from it. And it kept on going offline, online, offline, online. It's been doing it all day. And then I called up Amazon because that's where I bought it from, and then they didn't have any ideas. And then today, no problems with it. So must have been just something going on with the upper atmosphere on Christmas Day. Who knows? Maybe Santa Claus poked a hole in one of the atmospheres and caused things to come through to cause problems. So, but that's about it. So I've been running trains here, and first I had to clean all the track after I did that major construction work on my third level, drilling the holes through that part wall there. Caused a lot of dirt and dust and everything. Took me a couple of weeks to get everything cleaned up. So I've been running the trains, and then I had this one train I showed in the video, the cement train, and that engine was a brand new engine, and it was struggling to pull those cars up a little grade that I have on the third level. And it made it through, but it was struggling. But then it started hesitating in a section of track, and then it wouldn't continue, and had to push it a little bit, and then it would go. So then I decided to clean the track. So I cleaned it with my Woodland Scenics. I have a one, and it has two pads on it. You just run it along there. And then I use this metal polish to clean off all the black gunk on it, and then I can go again with it. I used that, and it still did it. So I've been using mineral water on the track, but then I saw some videos about how bad mineral water can be. So I just took a shot of that, put on there. The engine ran through, but then it was spinning. So then I had to wipe everything off the track. And then what I did was I put my cleaning car on there. It has a pad on the bottom, and I spray this CRC number 26 connectivity stuff on it. And then I ran that around, and then the train, it didn't go. It couldn't push it. So then I added another engine onto it and made it a consist. And then it pushed it around, no problem, and cleaned it and wasn't getting any hesitation. So I had the track clean. And then I tried the single engine again, and it still wouldn't make it up that little grade. It's not even 1% grade, but it's uphill. And those cement cars are heavy. I have them weighted down pretty good, and they're heavy. So it's a lot of weight it's pulling. So I put the other engine on it, made it a consist. So I ordered a new engine for that particular consist. So that was just shipped today from Yankee Dobbler, and then I'll make that a consist with that. Because the other engine I'm using on it is an SD70, and it's just too big of an engine for that. So that's what that's doing. I got the trains running on the lower level, and they run around after the track's clean and everything, but then every once in a while I hear the bell on my engine going off. And all my engines are set to ring the bell automatically once it hits speed step 3. That's settings you can do in your Tasami 2 decoders. I don't know about any other decoders, but that's all I use is Tasami 2. And I have them set to be automatically played once the engine reaches speed step 3, and then it'll play for like 10 seconds. And then, so what's happening is it's hitting a bad spot on the track, going back down and starting over again, and it's ringing the bell because it passed speed step 3. It's trying to get back up to the speed step that was on my power cab. So, and then it'll run over that same spot without no trouble. They'll go around 10 times, 20 times. Then it does it again, and it's all in that same area. So I took my finger across it, black line down my finger. So then I took a dry cloth and wiped it down, and then it ran over it. But then I stopped the trains. I had them running for about 4 hours, and it still does that. So, yeah, John, I have all metal wheels on all my cars, and I have resistor wheels on all my cars. And I still have to get more resistor wheels because I ran out, and I had a problem with some of them, and then I learned how to test them, so I know how to test them now. And so I got to put them back on that they work. Hello, Tammy and Ray. Thanks for stopping in. How you guys doing? So, yeah, so I run all metal wheels, no plastic wheels. I haven't had anything plastic wheels since 1960 something. And so that's what I did there. So the trains would run, and then they would hiccup. And I think I did a video. I showed it in the video where they were hesitating, and I cleaned the track with the track cleaner, and they're working now. But I saw a video from Larry, the DCC guy. He always does nice tutorials and stuff. And he did a track cleaning video maybe a week ago or so. And in there, he said, if anybody tells you that this is the stuff that you'll never have to clean your track again, he said, turn that video off and run in the opposite direction, because there's no such thing. So he found this stuff. I have it on order. It's kind of expensive, but I'm going to try it out and see, and then I'll put a video up for you guys to show you how it works out. The stuff is called DE Oxit. That's DEOXIT, D100L. You find it on Amazon. It's 22 milliliters of liquid. Not very much. It's a small bottle, and it looks like the size of the Gorilla Glue bottle, maybe a little bit wider, but not much in there. And what you do is you take a pint plastic bottle, you pour that into the plastic bottle, the whole contents of that little bottle, and that little bottle costs $27 on Amazon, just to let you know. And I had a gift card, so I got it for free with the gift card. But then you fill the rest of the bottle up with 91% alcohol. Pour that into the bottle, shake it up. Now you got 5% solution there, and you can pour that on a rag and then wipe the track by hand. Go get them, Grandpa Rails. And that, or like I have the brass cleaning car that Tony's Trains Exchange was selling at one time. I don't know if they still do or not, but you can pour that liquid right in there. So that's what I'm going to do, and then push that around and do regular cleaning on a monthly basis or whenever needed. So I'm going to test that stuff out, and then I'll let you know what that is. But yeah, so I had to buy some plastic bottles from Amazon and some alcohol, and then that DE stuff. And that DE stuff will be here on Friday. So that's what I'm doing there. You use a power washer. Yeah, I wish I could use my power washer. Yeah, John, I put metal wheels on all my rolling stock. Everything is metal wheels. Sometimes I have running problems. I use a piece of 600 grit wet dry sandpaper and a wood block to clean the track. Yeah, no, Tammy, I don't use canned air or dust off for off my printer. No, I don't use that stuff. I use alcohol. I put alcohol in a spray bottle and spray it, and then wipe it down with a paper towel. Yeah, John, that is expensive, but if it works, it's worth the price. So, but I'll do a video after I try it out, and I'll let you all know and see how it comes out. And so, what am I printing on my printer now, John? Well, what now I'm printing is my subway system. I started that a year ago, and then it came to a grinding halt because I was having trouble with my 3D printers at the time, which were all rosin printers. And I got one section done. And since I'm on vacation or holiday for 2 weeks, I said I'm going to start working on the subway system. And one part of the subway system I need to get working is the connection from the helix to the subway system. Well, I printed the bridge part that I need to make to go from the helix to the subway system, but the helix was here at this level, and the subway system was up here at this level. And the bridge was going to be going a short distance of 18 inches and up about almost 2 inches. And I said, that's too big of a incline because the subway car only has one engine on the front and it's pulling 3 cars, and they're all heavily weighted down cars. So I don't want to have it struggling to get on the helix. So what I did was I had these brackets that were holding up the pieces of the subway floor, and they were a certain height. So what I'm doing now is I said, let me drop it down, and I leveled it off to where the helix is now. So I dropped it down. So now I'm printing the brackets again on the filament printer. They take 2 hours to print each one. And I've printed about 20 of them already just to replace the ones that were there. And once I get the bridges in from the helix over, then I'll continue to go around, but I'll be able to print more. And I laid on the floor today the corner because, I'm going to go around the whole layout underneath. And the corner, I had it up before, but it was sagging a bit. And because I couldn't put a bracket in the inside of the corner because the track was close to that corner, and I would hit that bracket with the cars. So what I did was I glued on a little bracket underneath the floor, and then the next piece would lay on that. But that was a lot of extra weight in that corner that wasn't supported. So today I came up with an idea. I laid it on the floor, and now I'm going to make a corner piece, which Jim Tedesco helped me out with today on Tinkercad. Matter of fact, the finished. And I'm going to have that corner piece put in there. And then I'm going to put eyelets underneath the layout and run a wire down and drill a hole through the floor of the subway and mount that. And then that'll support the inside corner. The outside corner I can put brackets on because the train won't come close to there. So it's going to be supported by the brackets. So that's what I'm printing. And so what about the dust in the fan? Oh, I vacuumed that out. I vacuum out the fans with my hey race fan, how you doing? So I use a vacuum Tammy. I got a small vacuum that hooks up to my shop vac, and then I just go over the dust on the fans. Yeah, so Jim helped me out with that model today. So I said, oh, I'm anxious to get this corner finished. And I hadn't fired up my big rosin printer in several months. And ever since I had the problem with the Wi-Fi on it, I haven't used it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to print it today. Well, I put the clear rosin in, put the model on the USB, plugged it in, hit print. 13 hours later, it was going to finish. After about 2.5 hours, I could see the bottom of the build plate as it raised above the rosin bin. I could see what's printing. Well, there was nothing printing. So I canceled the job. I looked at the bill plate. There was nothing on it. So then I emptied the rosin into my bottle, and there was nothing on the bottom of it. So I got to send a message off to Anycubic support and see what they can figure out. Something's not right. So today I found out that, hey Ken, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. I just ordered from Amazon Sunlu filament, which I use exclusively, Sunlu, and they have a clear filament now. So I ordered that, and that'll be here Saturday. So I'll play around with making my parts for my subway system on the filament printer. That thing has been going constantly ever since I got it. So I've had a couple problems with that, but we worked those things out. Like the hot end assembly failed, and I had to replace that. But the parts are not hard to replace. This knowing which part breaks is the hard part. So that's what's going on with the subway system. I have track laid in a section hooked up to BD20s, and I tested that today. And I have, I put an engine on the track and some resistor wheels on there, and I got my AIU01 lit up when it was on that section of track. And it's only a small 3 feet section. So I'm waiting for a turnout that I ordered to come. I need that for the subway system. I already have the other turnout that I need. That's to allow the trains to come in and go out of the helix. So I had to redesign the entrance points of the helix for the subway system, because the other way the trains were running against the turnout, not with it, so it could exit out. So I'd have to back up the trains, and I don't want to do that. So now I have it coming out so that I can go in one way and the train will run counterclockwise, or I go in the other way and the train will run clockwise around, and then it can come out either side and go up or down the helix, whatever it needs to do. So that's what's going on. So we just doing a little work here and a little work there. Like I did a video showing how all my lights come on at certain times, and I got them all doing that now. And after I was track cleaning, I was running the engines around just to make sure that everything was working. And on my second level, I have these two big reverse loops that go around, and they have the turnout there. Well, I don't like to do things manually. I like to have things automated. So the turnout, when you come in, no matter which way it is, the train will go that way or this way, depending on which way it was left. When it comes around, it hits two sensors, and the sensors trigger the Cobalt IP to change the turnout to the other direction. So it worked on the one loop, but it wasn't working on the inside loop. So I took the I use Azutrack's MRD1s to accomplish this. They have sensors. You put them inside the track, or you can put them outside and have them like this, and then when the train passes through that, it sends a signal and does whatever you tell it to do. Well, it wasn't working. And I'm going, what's going on? So then I tried it, and nothing. So I was testing all this stuff during the daytime, and my lights weren't on during the daytime. Well, I found out that the MRD1s need 12-volt power to run the MRD1s. Well, they were hooked up to the same 12-volt bus line that I created to run some of the lights I have up on the third level. Well, after I found that, when the lights were on, the turnouts worked. When the lights were off, they didn't. So today, I finally got from Amazon my new power supply. So I separated the wire for that, plugged that into the MRD1 circuit, and now the MRD1s work. So that was just a little fun thing. You know, you have so many things connected to so many wires, and you don't know what's all on it until after you find something doesn't work. So that's how that works out. So the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight was in JMRI. I use JMRI. I'm a heavy JMRI user, and my layout runs off of JMRI. All the BD20s that I have show on each panel where the train is. I got the train number showing up on the tracks, where they're at by the engine number, and I run dispatcher to run the trains, because when you have, I'm going to have 8 trains running at the same time. I can't do that on a power cab. You know, I can do 3 or 4 on one power cab and 4 on the other, but that's, you know, you have to stop one right away and you have to flip it. This way, dispatcher has all the trains running and I can stop whatever one I want. So I was using dispatcher, and dispatcher is supposed to automatically change the turnouts as the train enters that section. Well, I set up the cement train to run on dispatcher, and the first time I got it through, it shorted out because it didn't change the turnout. So I posted a question up on the JMRI forum, and I emailed my buddy who's a JMRI developer, and we were bouncing back and forth and couldn't figure it out. So since I was working on the subway system, it cleared my mind of the JMRI problem. Took a break, and then the thought came in my head. The turnouts that I have on the 3rd level for the expansion, so the main lines used to run just in a small area up there on the 3rd level, and you all seen that before I showed you those. And so I put a turnout to go over a crossing, and then those 2 tracks run out and go through the tunnel I drilled through the wall and run all the way around. And then the other turnout on the other side, it comes back in and gets back on and goes the long leg around the main line. Well, I said, I'm going to run a 3rd train up there. That's a cement train. That's on the inside loop. So that needs to have the turnouts on the inside loop switch so that it can run around the inside loop while the other train is running on the outside loop. That's going to take the other train like 10 minutes to get all the way around. So I had wanted to have the diverging legs of the turnouts switch to the outside loop, not the inside loop. So I did that on the Cobalt IPs. You set the address to 197, and then that changes the polarity on the Cobalt IP. And then on JMRI panel, it showed green, which I use green or red, same color as the signals for my turnouts. Green means it's going straight through, red means it's diverging. And I had it just the way I wanted it. But what was going on was, in JMRI, it decided to change the turnouts to be on a diverging side instead of going through. So the train wasn't changed and it shorted out. So what I had to do in JMRI is just change the turnouts to be inverted, and now it all works. But what I'm going to do is just go and reset the Cobalt IPs and change the address to 197 again, and then that'll clear the polarity back to normal. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I have to do. So let's see. Did I miss anybody while I was rambling on here? Hi, Randall. How you doing? Glad to see you in here. So that's what that was about. And then on the new section of my third level, the track is just laying there. I just used sewing pins, the ones that have the little head on it that fits right through those holes in the track. And I just push them in, and they keep it kind of like in place. But when you run trains over it, the track kind of moves. Well, I was running some trains today, and then the one train stopped. And then I looked, and there was a big gap between the two rails, and the rail joiner, it was just holding it by a little bit. So I got to fix that and solidify that track up there. But the outside run, my well cars were uncoupling. You know how the well cars come together, and then that little hole on the one car goes on the pin on the other car, and that's how they interconnect, and the wheels underneath it. So that was coming off, and I said, what was going on? So I looked closer, and then as on the one side, which is on top of my helix, I have track going over top of it, and there's just a little bit of a hump there. So tomorrow in the daylight, I'm going to try to level that out and then make sure it's tacked down good. Might have to take out some of the foam that I have up there to get it to the level to come onto the ramp that I have going back into the other side of the tunnel. So always something with that. So that was what was going on up there. I had a lot of unsecured track that I don't like to run that too many times, but that's how it goes. And so, this is how it is with everybody. And, you have to play around and make sure that it works. So I was also working on a sound car. I had a box car on one of my consists, my Lehigh Valley consist, and I bought a sound car because I had the wheels already on the car, and I was going to do it, but I said, let me get the sound car. So I ordered the sound car from Yankee Doppler, and it came in a couple days, no big deal. I installed it. I have two other sound cars on my layout, and they all work fine. I hear the clickety clack as they go down the track, and wasn't getting any sound. And what I use is wheels that have a brass tube on the axle, and that brass tube spins. So I solder a wire onto the brass tube, and then drill a hole in the bottom of the car, and then run the wire up to the car, and then you hook it up to your sound car, or like I did for my cabooses. I just set up a circuit, and this I got off of Larry, the DCC guy. I had it a long time ago, but it didn't work because I was using wipers, and the wipers always were shorting out on me, and I just got rid of it. So I just said, that's it. So I found this place called JB Wheel Sets, and he's been real helpful with me. And so he makes the wheels with a brass tube on it. So you don't have to have both wheels with a wiper, and then what was happening, the wiper would slip off the axle, and then it would go on the track, and then it would short out. It was, I don't like the wipers. If you got them working, great for you, but I never could get them to work. So the brass wheel works. So I hooked that up to the sound car, and no sound. So I was trying to figure out, and with the holidays, couldn't talk to anybody. So I finally got a hold of Soundtracks today, and he told me how to check the CV settings in the sound card. And I should have known better. I should have known how to do this, but I didn't even think of it because I just thought it would be the engines only did that, but it's any decoder. So all I have to do is put it on my test track, my NCE system. I have the test track, and I go my power cab and say I'm on test track, and then it comes up with a menu, and then I click on CVs, and then I enter 3. I want to see what CV3 is, and it comes up with no, cannot read CVs. So I'm going, huh. So I took my alligator clips and I put the car on the main line on my workbench, and I put the alligator clips on the 2 wires that come from the 2 trucks and still connected to the sound car. And I put it on my meter, and I was getting 14 volts on both trucks. So I said, good. My solder on the wire on the truck brass tube was good. So I contacted Soundtracks, and they said, sounds like you got a bad decoder or something happened to it. So, hey, Chris, how you doing? Glad you can make it. So I said, okay, so I'm going to ship that out tomorrow to them and let them fix it. And I'm giving them my speaker because I thought maybe my speaker was bad. I wasn't getting any sound out of it. So, but it wasn't reading the CVs. So me running the magnet. See, what you do is once you get the sound car put in, you put a magnet over top of the car, and then that sets the sound car in searching mode. Then what you do is you hit F8 4 times, and then that sends a code from the engine's decoder to the sound card, and then that joins that sound card to that decoder in the engine. And then whatever sounds come out of the engine, when the car's moving, it'll make the sounds like the brakes, squeals, and the clickety clack, all that noise and stuff like that play out of the sound card. So that's going back to Soundtracks for them to troubleshoot and find out why it's not working. So we'll have to see, but that one comes. But I don't think, also, my sub count has been moving up the ladder here. I haven't seen anybody that just subbed to my channel, but I just want to thank everybody who's subbed to my channel. And I appreciate the comments and the thumbs up. I always respond to everybody that sent me a comment all the time. This goes to show you how much you really appreciate them. If you just ignore the comments, then they don't think you appreciate your, you coming in to watch the videos. So I'm going to be retiring a year from January 31st, so I'll have a lot more time to watch all the videos that I should be watching. I try to watch them all when I'm doing something here locally. And I can't do it at work because too many people around my office. they like to see what you're doing on your computer. Not the bosses, but the other people that work in the office. They want to see what you're doing. Thanks, JD. Appreciate that. Yeah, I try to show everybody what I'm doing, and I try to explain what I'm doing. And oh, you're retiring too, Chris? Yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm retiring January 2025. That's a year from January 31st. So some of the people at work know already, but I'm going to make the announcement on January 31st at the office. Tell them they got one more year to deal with me. It's funny. I work at a university, and I think my expectations are too high because I expect intelligence out of the working people at the university, and I find more people are stupider than you think. So it's just funny to see the kind of problems we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. 99% of them are self-inflicting problems. So, and a few of the people there graduated from that university, and this is the only job they ever had, so they don't know what it's really like. Universities are more laid back and not as pressure. We don't do heart surgery there or anything like that. So, but we like I have more experience than some of them kids are even. You know, I have a couple of guys that are like half my age that are in the computer field, and they don't even. You know, I have more years experience than they are alive. So it's funny. Oh, congratulations, Ken. Yeah. Well, see, that's why I'm waiting until I'll be 69 when I retire, and the my Social Security will kick in, you know, right then and there. So yeah, I bet you do, Chris. Yeah, it's always funny, you know. Yeah, well, that's how it is, but I don't know. So according to my papers, I'll be getting more Social Security than I am with my current salary. So that's why I'm waiting until 69. I could have retired a year. Well, I could have retired 2 years ago. I'm 68 now, and I could have retired when I was 65. So that's almost 3 years ago. I could have, and but I decided to stay in. The difference in my Social Security from 65 to 69, it's unbelievable amount. So I'll be comfortable. I won't have to worry about it. That's why I decided to buy a house when I did. I've only been in this house for it'll be 3 years. Or is it 3 years already? Time flies. I don't remember. 2019, I think. Was it 2020 or 2020 I bought this house. So it's going to be 4 years in July. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to, yeah, well, at least we have our model trains to keep us busy. That's one thing. There's a lot of little details that I'd like to be doing, but I can't get to them because I don't have enough time in the day. I drive 81 miles to work. That takes me anywhere from an hour and 20 minutes. That's the fastest I've ever done to 2 to 3 hours one way. So I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the road by 6. Got to be in the office at 8. Sometimes I get there beforehand. Sometimes I get there afterhand. I leave at 4 o'clock, and sometimes I get home at 5 o'clock or 5:30. Sometimes I get home at 7 o'clock. All depends. And it's usually a accident here or there that causes, and I drive 3 major highways back and forth to work. No side roads, no, when I get off of the main highway to get to the university, I have to drive through one town. And that's the most of the side roads I have. And for me to get onto a major highway from my house, it's 5 minutes. So the first 62, 64 miles, maybe the first 70 miles of my trip in the morning, I do it in an hour. It's the last 11 miles that you sit there and wait. Now, the first 70 miles, if there's an accident, then I sit on the back end and wait. Sometimes I've been sitting there and all of a sudden you see a helicopter come in and they medevac people out. It's not fun. So, oh, I was self-employed. Yeah. Real retirement age was, why is 65 for me, but I chose for early due to health. Yeah, well, health is a big thing. Now, if you do physical work, sometimes that has a toll on your body. But I sit at a desk all day long, so I don't have any physical work to do. The most physical work I do in a day is getting out of bed in the morning. That's about it. And I do like to run and do a lot of walking and stuff like that, so I keep in shape. But yeah, health is more important. So since I'm healthy and I can't complain, I've got no aches and pains. The only pain I got is a pain in my backside from people I have to deal with driving to work. That's the only pain I have. So you were a cabinet maker. So then you must have really good bench work, Ken. Yeah. So yeah, none of my comrades, I sent them out the link. I haven't seen anybody popping in here tonight from the rest of the cab crew. But I was planning to show this from my train room and show the trains running. But I just got my creeper. That thing is one of the best things I ever bought. That is like a mechanic's creeper, and it goes up. I go up a couple of steps, and then there's a pad on it, and then the wheels lock in place, and then it slides underneath my layout. I can get close to the layout, and then I can work underneath. I can lay upside down, and I can be working underneath the third level, and I can get up high above the third level. So that creeper was the best thing I bought. I got that from Micro. I think it was from Micro. Um, they had it was I think around $270 or something like that, but good investment because I the one my first layout that I put in was on a 4x8. Well, actually, it was a 4x10 sheet of plywood, and I can't reach all the way in on 4 feet. I can, but then the stuff in front I have to be careful of. So I got the creeper, and then I can reach over and I can crawl underneath the layout and get to the back side, and I can reach at things in the back. And I have a little step stool back there so I can get up to the third level to get to the turntable area up there. And on the other side, I got another step stool. I can get to upper levels, and I just have to army crawl underneath the layout so I don't hit any wires. One day I'll get those wires lifted up and underneath, because the skirts keep them closed and you don't have to worry about them. Oh, that's nice, Ken. Yeah. Well, I don't have a basement. This is all a ranch house on a slab, so I don't have to worry about that. My furnace that I have is in my kitchen, and the ductwork is underneath the floors. So it's gas, and it forces the hot air out to all the rooms. So if that ever goes bad, it doesn't affect my train room at all. So I don't have to worry about that. But when you're in a basement, I've seen many basements, and when the furnace goes, it's bad news. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, doing physical work will do take your toll. That's for sure. Yeah, when you get home from work, all you want to do is rest, relax. If you have a family, then you got to worry about taking, spending time with the family. So I live alone here in my house. I just have my dog. He keeps me company. And when I get home from work, um, it's 6 o'clock or 5:30, 6 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock. Then I have to cook dinner, and it just, then you don't have much time to work on a layout, and you got to troubleshoot things. I like to do things in the daytime where there's daylight. The artificial light is not the best thing. So yeah, see, so you know that's what happens. You know, things don't last forever, and you wish they did, but they don't. So, but like I said, once I get that DE oxit, deoxit, I guess you want to call it, stuff, then I'll be able to clean the tracks good. And because Larry, the DCC guy, said that he got it from some other guy, and the other guy's been using it exclusively. And there's another guy out there. He's the one that said to use the oxid stuff, and he put it all on his track and did it, and now it took him 2 weeks to take it all off, and he's looking to do it something different. So like I said, don't. Hey Steve, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Well, safe travels to you, Steve. My basement is a dirt floor. Shop is bigger than the house, square foot. LOL. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to seeing those videos of the new layout in there, Ken. But this is, yeah, so this is the bracket. Now, I'll get the other one. Just hang on a second. It's over here in the box. There we go. See the difference? I dropped it down that much difference. and now that lines up with the helix. So these were printed on the rosin printer, and these are printed on the filament printer. And I have the holes in there, right there, the hole. That's for the screw, because I was drilling out, and on the filament I was drilling it out, or on the rosin I was drilling it out, and the bloody thing would crack. So we put a hole in there, and then I just put the screw in there and screw it in. So that's what I've been working on. And being on vacation for 2 weeks gives me a lot of time. It makes it a lot easier than to have to rush home from work and then try to work on it. After dinner, sit down and relax after dinner sometimes. And this way, being off, get up in the morning, play with the dog, do little things around the house. Then I got the whole day to work on the trains. And all these little problems I've been trying to resolve and getting them there. So we'll see what happens. When I get that filament on Saturday, I'm really curious to see how clear it is. The rosin is not crystal clear, but I can still see through it. If I put a light in there, in the subway system, you'd be able to see the train. But I'm going to play it by ear and see what happens. I might get LED lights and stick them up on top of the subway system all the way around, and that'll light up the subway system. So I'm going to see about doing that. Depends on how dark it is in there, because the sides are all clear and underneath is clear. So we were making curved tunnels on the filament printer, but then when the filament printer died, we abandoned that method. And I said it's going to be easier to make flat pieces, and then flat pieces going up the wall, and I don't have to worry about the train track hitting the inside edge of the tunnel. So it's kind of like a square tunnel, but that's how we're going to do that. Yeah, filament is much stronger than rosin. Yeah, 5x9. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have 3 printers. I have the Viper. They're all Anycubic brand. The Viper is my filament printer, and I have 2 rosin printers. Hello, Sparky. Thanks for stopping in. How you doing? And one's a 4K, and the other is a 6K. And the 6K is the one I was trying to print that piece today, and it failed twice. Took it all out, cleaned it all, re-leveled it, and it still didn't print nothing. So that's why I decided to try getting the rosin, the filament clear. Amazon had it. It was only $18.99 for a big spool. So if I can get 20 pieces made out of a roll, I'll see how many I can get. And we'll see how clear it really is. Because they show the video of it, and they had a crystal ball thing, and you could see inside. So that's all I need, is to be able to see inside. So, but I think next week on Wednesday night, Tom's trains and things is going to be having that guy he had on a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember his name, but he's going to do like a training session on Tinkercad. So any of you people out there that have 3D printers and want to design your own stuff or modify something you got, and you use Tinkercad to do it, he's going to do a presentation on just Tinkercad. The last time he did it, the show with Tom, he was doing 3D printing and talking about 3D printing stuff. So he was a very informative person. He was trying to sell his company's printers too, along with it, but that's all part of the way things work. So what's Sparky up to today? Anycubic Photon 5. Yeah, that's the newer models, I think. Thunder Laser 60W CO2 and Ortor 20W laser. Yeah. Good. Yeah, that takes some time, doesn't it, Sparky, to go through all those numbers that go flying by 100 miles an hour. Sparky, have you ever used the StreamYard giveaway tool? The new one makes your life a lot easier. You should look into that if you haven't seen it, because I know the numbers game is fun, but people could just type in a code and then they're automatically entered, and then it automatically spins it, and then it'll post a winner, and then you don't have to worry about scrolling through hundreds of lines of chat and it makes life a lot easier. So the numbers game help with YouTube analytics. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't gotten into the analytics yet. Heath was showing that on his yearly thing. I look at mine every once in a while. Yeah, that's true, Sparky. But who was it? Heath was typing in 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. I think he was just hitting the up arrow and repeating himself. Yep, that's right. Well, been on for a little over an hour here, and yeah, Heath was having fun. All good. Yeah, that's right. We all have to have fun now and then. But I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and spending some time with me and listening to me explain what's going on here. And I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. This is the last Cab Crew Wednesday show for 2023, and it's the last Wednesday in 2023. So next time we'll see you is in 2024. So I hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve, and we'll see you all very soon. And keep up the good work, everyone. I appreciate watching all your videos. They help me out on things that I'm trying to do. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you all soon. Everybody, take care.